You know, I think that this is a really interesting question and one that we get really often. And, you know, I think that most teenagers feel different about lots of different things in their life: academics, athletics, what their appearance is like, what their talents are, what their values are. You know, I think one of the important things for teenagers with eosinophilic disorders is to start to focus back on what their core strengths are. So yes, they do have a disorder that may make them different than their friends in terms of what they can eat or what their energy level is, or, you know, lots of different things, but there's also lots of things that make them similar to other teenagers. And so I think one of the most important things is to start to think about, okay, yes, you can't maybe eat pizza when you go out with your friends, you know, to the bowling alley, but let's focus on the social aspects. So what are the fun things that you get to do with your friends? And, you know, what are the neat ways that you guys can support each other so that it's not so much about not getting to eat or, you know, not getting to, you know, drink a soda, but much more about the kind of social aspects of that event. And I think that, you know, parents can really help their children in that way by really, you know, validating how the child is feeling. So yes, we know that, you know, you might feel different, but let's also focus on all the other kind of core positive supports that you have and core strengths that you have in your personality, or, you know, activities that you like to do, or, you know, academics or clubs or things like that, that are, you know, not so much focusing on the difference, but focusing on that sort of similar experience that all teenagers have. You know, it's interesting. The answer is actually a little bit similar in terms of the way that we would help, you know, any child who's grappling with that idea of who am I in comparison to my peers. And, you know, what it turns out is that kids don't actually start to notice this idea of being different until, you know, sort of probably age 3 to 5 or so, you know, and it doesn't always come along with the, I think, with the emotional content that parents worry that it does. So kids may notice that their hair looks different, or, you know, that they eat different food or they drink different things than their friends do, but it's not always necessarily, I think, connected with the psychosocial concerns that parents worry that it is. And so really, you know, I always recommend to parents to take a very sort of practical approach to these things, which is to validate, yes, you do have a different drink than, you know, the child sitting next to you at preschool, or, you know, you can't have that, but to then focus on, you know, you can't have that, but you actually can have this. These are your snacks. And just to kind of, to really make it pretty practical and pretty informational for the kids, so that it doesn't turn into something where, you know, they feel worried or they feel embarrassed or something like that, but it just sort of is what it is, and that they're grown, you know, as they grow up, that that's how it's presented to them.